Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We talk about the full moon constellation today, and I will share the screen with you right away so you can see what is going on in the sky. I mean, really in the sky, not in Western astrology. As you know, that I'm not working with Western astrology because it's 28 degrees apart from the real star constellation. And of course, this is also made like if we would have the real constellation and understand our true horoscope, horoscoping, look into the hour to understand why we are here, because the horoscope shows our curriculum of life. The horoscope does not tell us who we are. It shows the path of way. Sorry, we have Mercury retrograde, and I have a progressive Mercury retrograde. So forgive me if sometimes I really have to look for words. It's kind of a challenge for me to do a reading when we have a Mercury retrograde. So here you can see. Then, in addition to in conjunction with the Sun and Moon, and we have these two very significant red squares. Red squares are always challenges. So after having like a very benevolent chart before, like a really supportive chart that help us to be more clear within us, now there are challenges coming up that we have to work with. And these challenges are about to really figure out what is not in harmony with our life anymore. My personal life, and believe me, I have very, very personal experience right now with this, of having to let go somebody I really love because this person has gone negative. And we can see a lot of people who had those shots in this last few years, that their eyes and their character and everything has changed. And this is, see, this kind of negative energy that was shot in the bodies um, is like a gateway that some negative entities can enter the body. It does not in all cases need that they are being possessed, but some are, and some others are just not really there anymore. I have been confronted with students here from the university, and some were like really like zombies. They just kind of they do not really respond anymore. Whenever you ask them a question, they kind of give you a quote or something that is yeah, not like really what they feel or what they have or who they are. It's just like something, it feels for me like to make me shut up. So don't ask any questions anymore. And this is a little bit the challenge that we have in the moment, to learn to see that. It is very often that you see that certain people around you are suddenly completely different. People that have been friends, they suddenly attack you or attack your animals, or it's just really weird stuff going on. And I think this is what we have now in that battle going on between light and dark. And this is like really the separating of the wheat and the chaff that is happening right now. And so we can expect more activities, more happenings to go. And I maybe want to refer to that because this fits very well in here for a comment I had from one lady that was very upset about Muslim people in her country, and that they rape and they make a lot of trouble. First of all, that country is England. And second of all, just look at the religion, like we can say Christianity versus Islam. And this is a very hot topic that we have here. And I would recommend you to do, if you have a problem there, to do some research what the Christians have done the last few hundred years, like they took over countries, and especially when you look at the colonization program of the English, then it's not so much of a miracle that especially there is a lot going on, but not only in other countries too. You know, this is all about balancing, and this is a bit, when you look at this horoscope, this is that tension. And to resolve that, there is it's not about to fight back, definitely not about the fight back, but hold the light. First of all, you need to be protected. Use everything what you can do, that you are in the light, protected, so that darkness cannot reach you. Because what had happened in all these hundreds, thousands of years in that false matrix cannot be resolved with fight. We have tried, I mean, when you look back in history, all these wars and all these fights, and none of them ever, ever have brought peace. And you might know also that even the wars, they were probably financed from the same people, both sides, because they profit from war. It's a lot of money to be made from war. And you also have to see that those in charge, those up there, some people call them the, no, I don't want to use that word. You know what I mean. They don't care about your lives. You're just cattle for them, like to go to the slaughter or sheep. That's it. Now, we have to take back our power, and extremely so now. And with the sun, Mercury retrograde, the opposition to the moon, the full moon constellation that we have, you can see that the sun is in Leo and the moon is in Capricorn. This again is a constellation that never happens in the Western astrology, because each of the signs are 30 degrees. But here with the real star constellation, you can see that some signs are bigger and some signs are smaller. So when we have this moon going into Capricorn, it is like the soul is in the underworld and is confronted with things that are not yet in harmony. You might have heard about the mythology that gives us a lot of information about happenings, that the journey through the underworld of Inanna, for example, or Persephone, and they all had to first let go of everything what they still were clinging to. And the last step was dying. That was like that story, you know, of the butterfly in the cocoon, to let go everything and then being reborn as something different. And Persephone and Inanna, they were actually reborn as their own daughters. And that means that is a process that you let go of life, what was before, of luggage, and especially of karma. And we don't need the karma anymore. We can move beyond now, because that way of how we understood karma was also connected to the false matrix. The real true effect is different. It's not like this. And you will see that the moment when this shift is happening, that everybody will move to a point to see very clear before the complete timeline shift is happening. And there is a moment, there maybe a little bit more than just a moment, that every soul can choose, that every soul will know for a moment exactly, see their own story, like with the near-death experience, when you see your life before you, and you know exactly where you belong in a way, and you know exactly what is your journey of evolution. And this is a constellation that might help you to confront you with this already. You might have certain dreams, or you might have, you know, I had that in the moment. It happened to me often, that, for example, I sit in the evening there, and I read something, and I suddenly kind of drift away and have like a vision, or it's like a dream, a vision, that suddenly something hit me, something completely out of context with the book I read, for example, that I see something, that something come into my life, or I have a song, it's kind of going into my head around, and I have to figure out what is this song about, and then I can feel first the connection with a person through that song, and then I can see a context. So things like that are happening, and this is not easy because, again, I mentioned that so many times, it's about breaking of our habits. We are so much trained to live in the habits of the false metrics, of the false ideals, that what is positive in life and what is not. And generally, most of what is in the false matrix good is actually in the real matrix not good. Like, you don't run and you don't compete and you don't go forward to win, but you are looking for others also. You are not racing, like Olympic Games is something different. It's not about who wins, it is about who supports each other. And I know from my own experience how gratifying it is when you support other people, and maybe afterwards you get the feedback that, oh my God, you told me this and this, and that helped me so much. Now I'm free of this, or I was able to take that hurdle that I couldn't take before. And this is for me so much more satisfaction than when I just run and compete, or do something that I feel I win. This is for me winning. This is like the essence of internal satisfaction. I try to explain that because you might have all had that somebody come back to you that you helped at one point and is grateful and tell you, thanks to your help, they could do certain things that they were not able before. And this is actually the spirit of the true matrix, divine matrix that we live in. Yes, we live in a matrix, and it has to be a matrix. It has to be a stage or something. Otherwise, we cannot live, right? So this is what is happening. And now we are confronted with that. So when the moon is here in Capricorn and we go through this, a very strong aspect again of letting go. Let's look where the cusp is here. We go to Uranus. And Uranus is, in a way, we can say the higher self. It is like when we have the sun. When here the sun is our consciousness with the Mercury, which is represents our personality, our ego. We are confronted, we can say, with the higher self that is breaking the habits, that is breaking those things that are still stubbornly clinging to our lives. And we have a similar constellation here when we have here with Mars and Jupiter, and this triangle goes to Venus and to Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, of the world AC. What's the most important topic for the world right now? What's coming up first? That is that to free our soul. And when we look at that with Saturn and Venus, we talked about that last time, is about creation, is the goddess. See, when we have here Mercury, Mercury has a moon on top, a circle and a cross. The moon on top is the input. And this is how a personality functions. That's how we function. But it's not who we are again, right? This is very important to understand. Otherwise, horoscope doesn't really make sense when you make I am statements, because that is not you. You are the I am. I am that I am. And this is your curriculum. And this is a hint about the curriculum of the whole world. Of course, if I would go in details, I would have to make a horoscope for each country and the world. But since we have made that 0-degree meridian, I use that point for the horoscope for the whole world. And again, here we have England involved. This is it's just something that it's hit quite strongly. And And see, this is why, especially in Europe, they have to work on holding the light. And then the East and the West is kind of the balance. When you have an image of an old scale, you know, you have the middle part, it looks a little bit like a cross, and the two, um, what do you call these things hanging on it when you put in the weight? You know what I mean. So this is like what is happening is now is balancing East and West, and we can say that's also connected, like the two hemispheres of our brain, because we have been completely one-sided in the brain, in the ego, in the rational mind, and all the energy of feeling of heart have been suppressed. And also the energy of creation has been very much suppressed, which is connected with the female energy. And this is Venus. This is the divine within us that manifests. This is not the input with the moon from the outside. So when we generally function on the matrix, still false matrix, but on any matrix we receive input from what is coming outside. So we have, for example, simple, we have the weather, bad weather, good weather, whatever we want to call it. And we might be happy with it or not. But this is, again, this is up to you. Some people, oh, I'm so happy it rains. Some people, oh, it's horrible, we have rain again. You know, it's the same thing happened, but for some people it's so-called good, and for some people so-called bad. And that is, again, duality connected with the judgment that we judge everything. Now here Venus is creating from inside out. Venus is the divine within us, this divine feminine within every person, no matter if you're a man or a woman. And that feminine, when you are connected to the divine within, is the creation from inside out. This is the creativity. You create something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you perceive from the outside world. Now, when we have the second triangle going here to Venus, from Venus to Mars and Jupiter, it is like a very strong energy here with the Taurus in the background that will help us to free our Venusian creativity from that restriction of the matrix, that we get back our own creativity. But again, it is all about here to break the habits. We have Scorpion on top. And you remember what I said, the journey of Inanna Persephone is actually a story of Scorpio. It's the story of dying and being reborn from the perspective of the soul, which is the double meaning here with the moon, which represents the soul in Capricorn, is dying, and it's just at the cusp to go into Aquarius, to being reborn in the field of the higher self, so that we are reconnected with the higher self. Unfortunately, for so many people who are still asleep, it needs massive shock to get there. You need to be shaken to get out of that old pattern and that old matrix. So we are moving very rapidly towards an event that will change the whole world. And they are outside events, and I recommend you to look a little bit around that, you know, the talking about earth changes that are also connected with, because we have to see that Mother Earth is a living being. Most people don't understand that, but the earth is not just a rock somewhere and stuff is growing on it. Where do you think the life energy for the growth is coming for? This is the energy of Mother Gaia. And Mother Gaia has decided and has asked for assistance for other beings. That's why we are not just humans involved, but there is more involved that she can ascend. And Mother Gaia will actually eventually leave our planet. And it's afterwards, the stewardship is given to humanity. That means that humanity, the life energy of humanity, is connected with the life energy of Mother Earth. So every being that is incarnated, it doesn't matter if it's a human being or an animal, if it's a stone or a plant, they're all connected together with the life energy. And Mother Gaia or Pachamama or whatever you want to call her, she will live and ascend beyond physical materialization. At least that is what I understand what is going to happen. So you see the transformations going on. And this is not an easy step. What has to be reborn, these are the yellow aspects here, is connected with our creativity. Humanity has to rediscover their own creativity and become aware of it and move out finally of the frame of the program of this matrix. And this will be in this couple next week, will be a breakthrough energy for that with Uranus here. Uranus is always connected with breakthrough. So you can expect events that are happening. And you see, we have several planets retrograde. So it can be that something is happening within you because of something what happened outside of you. So do not judge what is happening outside of you. Just observe. And as I said before, you are exactly at the right place where you're supposed to be because that's what you need to experience. And now you have a choice. You have the choice to either understand, understand what this is all about and observe and hold the light and spread the light, or you can get angry and go out there and fight, which does not bring you any further. But this just is, again, is becoming a new karma that you create. And the step that we are taking right now is actually moving away from karma. And as long as we disconnect and hold the light and let things happen, because on the highest level, everything is in divine harmony. Everything is perfect. Everything what is happening is needed for that step of ascension. May look very difficult. This does not matter because the picture is so much bigger. What is happening is so much bigger than what we as individual human beings in general can see. So get ready for this full moon. I recommend you maybe to sit and meditate and write down where you still get angry, what is still kind of an energy that you need to let go. And I have also drawn two cards for this moon. We have the goddess here, Isis, and we have here purification. So it is about purification. It is about to let go all that what does not belong to us anymore. And you know, the goddess has a night picture here. It's okay, I call her Isis, not Isis. Had nothing to do with ice. When you go back in the original languages, you find it different. And she has actually a moon on top of her head, and this is a sapphire, blue sapphire on her head. This is the peace of mind. So we have to move into the darkness to truly see the light. If we are already in a light, and this is a false light that we are in, we cannot see it. And when we transfer that image of darkness, we can see that this is the meditation when we go inside and not are distracted by what is happening outside. I hope that can help you a little bit too for the next couple of weeks. The energy of the full moon, and I see you again in one of my next readings. I will do some card readings in between, definitely some maybe written, some made a video. Please give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to see you again. And well, bye-bye for now.